Hey guys, welcome to the Bourbon College Podcast. I'm Austin. Let's get started. So, y'all may have seen on my Instagram that I just came back from Houston. I was visiting family and I had a couple other things to do there, but I took a whole day and just bourbon hunted. I went to many stores that they don't have here in Baton Rouge, obviously. Found some cool things. But I kind of audio journaled along the way, so I'm going to let y'all hear that. So without further ado, here's what happened on my trip. Hey guys, I'm on the road right now on the way to Houston. I forgot my mic at home, so hopefully this audio is okay. If it's not, I'll figure something out. But I'm taking a trip to see family and do some other things. But I'm going to take a day and I'm going to bourbon hunt or whiskey hunt. And I'm going to give my experiences along the way. So right now I have 3 definite stops. I might have more, but I'll keep you updated. So that'll happen tomorrow. So thanks for listening. And hopefully this turns out pretty cool. Alright, thanks guys. Bye. Alright guys, so I'm walking around uptown Houston. I found this really cool bar with a huge bourbon and scotch selection. But it's a very strictly enforced dress code and I do not have that kind of dress with me. So I'm going to the next best option. They seem like they have a pretty good bourbon selection, so we'll find out. Okay, so that bar, it's a wine bar and had a great selection of wine if you're into that. It had an okay selection of scotch, and the bourbon selection was, I ended up with a Basil Hayden's, and that's about the top of the line bourbon they had. They had like Buffalo Trace, Makers. They had Makers 46, and a couple of ryes and a couple of Texas bourbons or whiskeys, but not what I was thinking it would be. Alright, so the first stop today is Specs Wine, Spirits, and Finer Foods. There's a bunch of them all over Houston. So we're going to see what it has. It's supposed to have the largest selection between that and Total Wine. So we'll see. Alright guys, so I just went into Specs and I had a huge selection. Nothing on my special list, but I did pick up a bottle of Legent, which I've never seen in Baton Rouge, and a bottle of the Balcones pot still Texas bourbon, because, you know, I'm in Texas. And I got a mini bottle of one of their single malts, which I probably had before, but it was a cute little bottle, so I had to pick it up. So far, so productive, but I'll let you know if I find anything on my list. Alright, Total Wine was awesome. I picked up a 375 of High West Campfire, which I've always wanted to try, but it's been expensive. I picked up a bottle of Balcones True Blue, which I've tried the Baby Blue, but this is the first time I've ever had the True Blue, and I think I'm going to have a Balcones Flight when I get back, maybe do it for the episode, maybe do it for YouTube, I don't know. I also picked up Willett Family Reserve 4-Year Rye, which I've never had any of those products other than the Willett Pot Still Bourbon. I'm hoping that's pretty good. I hear good things about it. I also have a Rye Flight planned. Next stop is a different Specs. So Willett was on my list, but I'm still on the hunt for the elusive Blanton's, anything Weller. You know, the thing that everyone else is looking for, of course. Still looking for it. Alright, keep y'all updated. Thanks. Alright guys, for my second Specs, I picked up a bottle of Booker's, and I picked up my favorite beer, Erdinger. Little story behind that: I went to Germany for study abroad a couple summers ago, and went to the brewery, toured the brewery in Munich there, fell in love with it, so I pick it up any chance I get, because I can't find it in Louisiana hardly. Every now and again I can, but for some reason in Texas it's plentiful, so pick it up whenever I'm here. Next, we're hit some local shops. Alright, so I stopped by this little shop called Tony K's. Met the guy in there. I don't know if he's the owner or what, but his name was Steve. And he immediately asked, he saw me looking at the bourbon, immediately asked if I wanted to be on the call list for when they get allocated things in. And I told him I was from Louisiana, so I don't want to take that away from local people, but just his kindness and willingness to help me out was awesome. They had Weller Special Reserve, so I had to grab a couple of those. And they had a Four Roses single barrel pick. I don't exactly remember which recipe it was, but I've never had a store pick of that yet, so I went ahead and picked that up. I went to a couple other local places that didn't really have much. They had a good selection. It was a good basic selection, but nothing I didn't have in Baton Rouge or that I hadn't seen already. So I didn't pick anything up there. I went to another Total Wine, and at that Total Wine, I picked up Rabbit Hole, which I've never seen in person. So I'm excited to try that as well. And now I'm just kind of riding around looking for little stores. Not really expecting to get anything else, but if something pops up, who knows. Alright guys, that was my trip in Houston. Little play-by-play on there. These Total Wines and spec stores I keep talking about, if you're not familiar with them, they're like liquor superstores. Especially Total Wine has so many different types of wine, anything you could want. But it has a whole wall of bourbon and another whole wall of Scotch, Canadian, Irish, anything you could want in there. Very cool. Awesome tequilas and rums. So definitely check that out if you're in the Houston or Texas area. I know there's more. They are outside of Houston. They're not just in Houston. But for my review today, and kind of an Easter present to myself, I'm going to uncork and review Booker's 2019 Teresa's batch. So I'm going to do that live. So you're going to hear some rustling around. Because I think that's kind of fun. I don't know. Let me know what you think. So first off, the Booker's comes in a really cool box, which I believe, I'm not mistaken, the wood used in the box were actually floorboards that Booker No himself walked on. Maybe that's a special batch. Maybe it's not this one. I don't know. But it's a really cool presentation case. Beautiful bottle. It's in a wine bottle shape with a black wax. And it's on a shelf. Oh man, this is awesome. This is the first time I've had Booker's. Now, the reason I got it in Houston and not in Baton Rouge, it's pretty prevalent here in Baton Rouge, but it's at least $75, if not more. Houston, I got it for under $70, which is not that much cheaper, but it was noticeably cheaper, and I've been wanting to pull the trigger, so I said, why not? So here's some master distiller's notes. I'm going to read off the little card that came with it. The first batch of Booker's Bourbon in 2019 collection is called Teresa's Batch, named for Teresa Whittemer, a beloved employee here at Beam for over 30 years in our quality control department. Excuse me. This batch is made up of barrels from 3 production ages, aged in 9 different locations within 4 warehouses. The breakdown of the barrel storage is as follows. 2% came from the second floor of the 7-story warehouse 5, 1% came from different. That's really cool. I might post a picture of this on the Instagram along with the bottle so you can actually read it because I don't want to read this whole thing. But getting the tasting notes from the batch of Teresa, getting the tasting notes for this batch from Teresa herself was important. She works with the bourbon daily, and I wanted to get her description of the batch of Booker's Bourbon that bears her name. I have to say she did a terrific job describing the characteristics of this batch. The nose is sweet, some hints of brown sugar and light oak, along with vanilla and the characteristic that is a characteristic of Booker's Bourbon. The taste is unique, yet still unmistakably Booker's Bourbon with a pleasant and warm finish, both sweet and spicy. And that is from Fred No, the Beam family's 7th generation master distiller. And there's more tasting notes online. Again, I'll post a picture of this. This is the first batch of 2019, obviously, as you heard me read. It is 62.95% alcohol, so that's 125.9 proof, so pretty high proof right there. I definitely got some water with me to proof it down after I try it neat first. It is 6 years, 3 months, and 1 day old. There's some more information on this little card. Again, beautiful, beautiful bottle. I took a picture of it before I opened it, so I'll On Instagram, you'll see there's a picture of everything I got in Houston, and then there'll be a picture of this Booker's here in more detail and the card that came with it. It's a beautiful bottle. Let's see if I can figure out how to open this. Man. The little fiddly bit's hard to get off. There we go. I'm making a mess. Let's see if we can get a good cork pop. Let's listen in. Not bad. Not the best, but not bad. It's a synthetic cork, not real cork, which is okay. It's actually probably better for sealing. I don't know if you could hear that pour, but it poured perfectly in this wine bottle shape. Man, all right, let's get to the review. Color, it's normal bourbon color, not a little on the darker side, but not overly dark by any means, like the double oaked Woodford, which I enjoyed, by the way. I'm probably going to do a review on it soon. I was going to review it on this show, but I thought that's stupid. Let's do one I got from Houston. Immediately on the nose, I get the classic vanilla they're calling out. I also get a little bit of orange on this. I don't know the mash bill. I probably should, but it definitely smells higher rye. A little bit of nuttiness on it, or cinnamon maybe. Yeah, I get a little bit of brown sugar. Whoops. Sorry. Definitely get some oak. Let's see what I get on the taste. Wow, on the taste, immediately the hotness hits you. It is high proof alcohol right there, 125.9 proof. But it's not overpowered. It's not too much. It's really, for that high proof, it's really easy drinking. You definitely get cinnamon. That cinnamon brown sugar is what sticks out to me on the taste. It definitely tastes older than 6 years to me. You get, of course, the vanilla there. Teresa was right in saying vanilla, but definitely the brown sugar and a little bit of oak. It's not, it's oaky like a 6-year-old would be compared to like a 10-year-old older bourbon. But the flavors are complex and matured. They have that characteristics of like an older bourbon in that sense. Mellows really well. I could definitely drink this neat without any water added to it. But I want to give it a try with the water. I've also read something recently saying that it's scientifically proven that above, I don't remember the percentage now, but above a certain percentage alcohol, if you add water, it actually does bring out more of the natural flavors. If I find that article, I'll link it. I don't remember exactly which one it was. That's my fault, but it's interesting, so I'll try it. I have some bottled water, just Azarka, Texas spring water. Add just not even a capful, but probably about a half capful. Ooh, too much. Just to see. I did kind of a big pour because this is also going to be my cooking bourbon. Well, I'm drinking it while I cook, not cooking with it. I'm making a deer meat sauce piquant for Easter tomorrow. The vanilla comes out more. Even that Jim Beam nuttiness comes out a lot more with that water. Even with the hot water, though, it still tastes hot. You're not going to be chugging this one, I guarantee it. Oh, that's so good, though. I'm so glad I got it. Oh, man. So this one's going to be a keep for sure. And it's worth the price point, even if you have it around $75, $80 where you are. I would still get it. It's good. Again, this is my first Booker's. I'm young, obviously, so I have nothing to compare it to Booker's wise, but I'm comparing it to other bean products, compared to other bourbons in general, and it's delicious. It is fantastic. Check that out. Definitely get you some if you're questioning. I know some people on Instagram were asking me how it was. They were hesitant to pull the trigger. I say go for it. Again, I don't have any other Bookers to compare it to, but it's delicious, so you can't go wrong with it. Well, anyway, this is coming out on Easter, so I wanted to wish everybody a happy Easter and stay safe for the holidays. And if you could let me know what your Easter traditions are, if it's bourbon related or even not. I'm curious. For us, we hang out as a family, usually cook or I bring food over, and just enjoy each other's time. Have family in from out of town. It's a good time. It's like a midway through the year point for a Christmas or a Thanksgiving celebration. So enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your Easter pours are if you have any. Thanks for listening, everybody. You'll have a great day. Happy Easter. See y'all next time. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Bourbon in College podcast. If you like the show, give it a 5-star review on your favorite podcast directory. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/bourbonincollege, where you can pledge as little as $1 a month and get access to our patron exclusive podcast feed where I do special episodes every week. If you pledge $5 a month, you will get a 3D printed custom Bourbon in College coaster and Glencairn top. And if you pledge $20 a month, you get to be interviewed on the podcast. Find me on Instagram at bourbon_n_college. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Bourbon in College. Go to bourbonincollege.com to see where you can find me. All the podcast channels are there. My YouTube channel is on there. All my social media, the Patreon page. So that's your one-stop shop for everything. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next time.